Narrative. What's your story?
To my younger self, what's your
To
story?
my younger self.
To 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 my younger self. What's your story? To my younger self. What's your story?
Hello and good morning. How are you doing? My name is Zoe Baraka. As always, it's Tuesday morning and we are very excited. Let's go into the studio and see who is here. Guys, if you are here, I do want to hear from you as always. Please say hello to me in your local dialect. Hey, Professor Audrey, I see you. I see you. Good morning. Hello to you. Beverly, how are you doing? Good morning. Our topmost fans, guys, thank you so much for joining us again. Let me reintroduce myself. My name is Zoe Baraka. The show is To My Younger Self, where we tell stories all over Africa, from our past that is going to propel us into the future. Welcome. Jumbo to you. Jumbo, I greet you. Listen, where are you watching us from? I hope you're doing well. Barakada zua to you if you speak Hausa. I greet you. Sanunkuda zua ya yade ya kakwana lafia. I hope you slept well. It is so good to see you. Ya ken, toma, fudua wela, toma wela, tipose wanambarka. I am so thankful that you are here. Siska, I see you. Thank you so much for joining us on YouTube. Thank you. By the way, yes, we are streaming on both YouTube and also on Facebook all at the same time. Incredible times we live in. Etiseng, Akwaba, Uhutidenya, Mawachi. I just greeted you in the Akan dialect. Sawubonani to you. If you speak Zulu, I am greeting you. Wow. Bella to you. Ibyo Kibari to you. If you speak Moshi, I greet you. Tell your tang to my Ghana speaking people in Ghana. Ekaro to you. Ekabo if you speak Yoruba in Nigeria. Nagadef to you if you speak Wolof. Last week we were speaking Wolof from the Gambia, so we are very excited. Jambo habari gani, karibu sana to you. If you speak Swahili, I greet you. Katong, amohalang to you. Do you speak Sesotho? Are you in Botswana? I welcome you in. Thank you for joining us. Inyase Aloy Domilaki, do you speak Bisa? Are you in Ghana? Are you in Burkina Faso? I greet you. Kotoli to you. If you are Fulani and you speak Fofoldi, we say thank you for joining us. Thank you. Bom dia to our Portuguese speaking friends, of course. Bonjour, buongiorno, buenos dias. And as they say and I am going to try my best on this one, in Uganda, they say, Tusanyusi okupalaba to you. We are so happy to see you. I think I did it right because I see somebody smiling in the green room. Listen, guys, I am very excited today because we have the incredible, the amazing Price Love with us. And God, I don't even know what to say. So, my producer, the incredible, amazing producer, Elsie, my big sister, Elsie, this woman that I don't even know what to do with her anymore. She shared a music video with me a year ago. And producer, please correct me if I have it wrong. I think it's a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago. And this woman comes onto my screen. And my good God, her voice just took me somewhere. And of course, we swapped other videos with each other. That is, Elsie and I, big sis Elsie and I, were going back and forth and we're talking about Price Love and how incredible her voice is. And she said, now this producer is a prophetic one. She said, it will be so good if we could get her on To My Younger Self. And I mean, who do we know? We know nobody in Uganda, right? So anyway, I did the faith thing, which is find her information on the internet. Thank God for the internet. And take a leap of faith, which is what we do a lot of on To My Younger Self. We take a leap of faith. So here I go. I send Price Love an email. I introduce myself. I introduce the show, and I say, hey, here we go. Can you please come on the show? It's a show of love. It's a show of love. We don't necessarily have any money to give, but we have a platform and we want to share it with you. We want to hear your stories. Don't you know this incredible, amazing woman, this woman that I have watched on YouTube for countless number of times and admired, she responded herself and she said, sure. Can you believe that? Anyway, let me stop going on and on. And she has been quite responsive, a very busy woman, incredible woman, but very, very busy with life and art and her music. And somehow she found time to be with us today. Let me read a little bit about Price Love to you. And hopefully we get to see her sing today. So yes, get ready, guys. Price Love is a Ugandan musician, an incredible singer, voice teacher with a mission to inspire change in society. She plays a Ugandan local instrument called the adungu. I know I said it right. I know I did. Also known as the bow harp. She has done cover songs for many musicians, including Narai Kelemo by Travis Green and Tim Godfreys, Excess Love by Nessie Chinwell, Waymaker by Sinach, Capable God by Judy Kate, and so many more. In fact, one of my favorite ones that she did herself is Believe That You Can Fly. This is her own song. I want to believe that because I've never heard anyone play that song quite like that, right? She has a unique sultry voice that allows her to put a personal signature on songs. Her single Wally and her albums Tales and The Priceless Gift are all on music platforms all over the world. She's the author of Dare to Dream. And yes, I know for those of us living in the West, where, I know she's working very hard to get it on Amazon and it's going to be here sooner than we think. So please hold on to your britches and to your purses. And when it does come on, I want you to do the loveliest thing, go on there and purchase that book because she's going to come back so we can talk about that book very, very soon. And Dare to Dream is a book that is intended to inspire anyone who is set to be in the music industry. She is married to the incredible and the amazing Sydney Kalanji. Ladies and gentlemen, storytelling connoisseurs, like we always do on this platform, please, please, please help me do the honorable, the most incredible thing. Welcome, Price Love, on To My Younger Self. Hi.
Ooh, hi.
Oh my God, what an honor, what a privilege. It is so good to see you.
It's so good to see you. I don't feel like I deserve your introduction.
Girl, you deserve even more than that. I kept saying, is that all there is? I think there is more. I missed it. Girl, the show is yours from now on. My job is done. I'm going to just sit back and kind of relax and hear you tell us some stories. Have at it.
Awesome. All right. To the dear viewers, welcome. It's afternoon here in Uganda, but I understand it's morning in some places, afternoon, so wherever you are, I greet you. My name is Price Kwagala Kalanje. Kwagala means love, hence wow. Price Love. Kalanje is my husband's name. Where do I start from? I grew up in Masaka in Uganda. It's a district in Uganda. And I grew up in a family of 3 girls and 1 boy. My father is a pastor. Mom passed on last year. She's not here with us, but she was a songwriter. She was a housewife, an amazing evangelist as well. So, oh my God, I have so many stories to share.
How about it? Okay, we're here for it all.
Okay, I will break it down this way. I'll start with my earlier life in primary school, kindergarten. So, I think I attended about 5 primary schools
What?
in primary. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to explain why. I know you're looking at me and wondering, 5? Well, my parents didn't have a lot of money growing up. So kindergarten, I think I attended, I was very smart. So we moved on very fast. Kindergarten, I think I attended like a term or 2, then moved to primary 1. And then in primary 1, I was at, it was a police barracks school, and they had constructed a block supported by the government of Uganda. So, my God, in this school, I remember the president was coming to open the block, and we have a celebration. Usually we have those celebrations. So when the president was coming, they chose to have people come to sing. So the older kids were supposed to sing, but I was in P1. But I felt I had the ability to sing like them. I mean, age is but a number, you know. But they refused. So I had to devise means. What can I do to ensure that I am put in this choir, even though I'm in P1 and the kids that are singing are from like primary 5 to primary 7? So classes used to end at 1 p.m. And so what did I do? I stayed behind and would stay in the window. I was very short, but the window was, you know, low enough for me to see what's going on inside. So I would stand outside. I intended to learn everything they were doing so I could show them I had the ability. So I should be allowed to sing. And so I stayed for a couple of days, and the teacher became very uncomfortable because I used to sing what they were singing, but outside the window, like to just show her I can. And so she had me, and I was singing the right things because I felt like the mature kids were a bit intimidating. Mature kids they get many more opportunities. We, the younger ones, don't get those opportunities. So I decided I'm not going to take no for an answer. So the teacher and she had me singing the right things. So she said, okay, come in. She took me inside, put me on a table because I was pretty short, and told me to start singing. So I sang everything as much as she wanted it, like as many times. I didn't mind because passion for music was something that I had from a young age. And that was my very first encounter with wanting to do music without even knowing it, because for me it was just to prove someone wrong.
How old were you?
Primary, I must have been about maybe 5.
Wow.
Yes. And so I remember still around that same time, I used to be chased for tuition. Like I said, I went to 5 primary schools.
Right.
Tuition was a problem. Meanwhile, we used not to pay a lot of money. It used to be very little money. But for some reason, when it's very little money, you never get it. We used to pay, I think, 2,000 shillings. Let me see. So this is 2,000 Uganda shillings. Yeah.
Wow.
But this was a whole term's tuition, and I couldn't afford it. Like, I was like, we used to wonder. They used to chase me for tuition to go back home. I would stop on the way and think, I'm going to go back home. Mom is going to tell me I don't have money and tell me sit. Why not walk out, spend maybe 20 minutes on the road, come back to school, tell them she's coming. And I did that so I did that for a while, but of course they figured out, this is the trick now.
Wow.
So they decided at the end of the term, you will not get your report. So at the end of that term, I never got my report. Actually, I don't feel like I got any reports from like primary one, because we were defaulting for a long while. And yet my passion for education was growing by the time, because girls were not really in the spotlight at all. It was the boys usually, and we would be an option. You would go dig with your mom, spend time in the garden with her, do housework. That was the life. But then I decided this is not going to stop me. So next term, I went to a different school. Actually, in primary school, that very primary one, I got an opportunity. A man and woman were moving. They came to our home. I think they were from Compassion, and they came. We were many kids playing in the compound, and they picked two, and I was among the two.
Wow.
And when they did, they're like, where are your parents? Are you in school? We were all struggling with tuition. So they asked for our details, took them, told us to go to a place still in Masaka. We went to that place, and on reaching that place, they registered our names. I really didn't know much that was going on. I was young, but just the excitement that you are going to school somehow gave me that confidence of like doing anything. So I remember we got sponsorship, and so they decided to take me to a new school, because they had compassion schools. So compassion schools, when you're a compassion kid, you are not going to be chased for tuition.
Wow.
So that is like a shield, yes. So I went to a new school that is in primary 2. But then the money that was being paid was not all the money. Even though they wouldn't chase me out of school, not all the money had been paid. So we were supposed to raise a certain amount. Still, we were struggling to raise that amount. And so they decided, you know what, maybe we find another school that is cheaper. So I changed in primary 3 to another school. Oh my God. And then did 3 terms as well, but still I hadn't finished tuition. And so, but they would give us the reports somehow, because we were compassion kids.
Compassion kids.
And
Wow.
yes. So still a lot was happening, and still they felt, it's a lot. Primary 4, we had moved now. I used to walk to school. I don't know, kids of these days, they are picked
They don't know what that means.
They have no clue. But you know, back then we would walk miles and miles to school, barefooted. And it was amazing that for us, it wasn't something we looked at differently, like, no, we don't have a car. No,
it
we
was
actually
life.
had a blast. Yes, it was life. I remember one of the friends I grew up with, her name is Joyce. We used to tell each other, in the morning at 6, we get on the road, because back then the roads were not made. So you'd go through forests sometimes. They were just starting to construct roads. And so we go through forests, but the confidence of having 2 people moving, we are going to school. But it was an adventure, really, for me. And growing up, I feel like those things really shaped the person that I am today, because I realized that even though someone says no, there is always a yes. You just have to keep persistent.
Wow.
Yeah. So I realized then that there's always an answer, yes, to every no, irrespective of how big the no is. So primary 4, I switch again to another school, because we had moved home. We had shifted to a distance that was pretty long, and they feared, because of the insecurity at the time, they used to sacrifice a lot of kids at the time, where we used to pass. So you're passing through forest, sometimes you find blood, sometimes you just hear stories on the village, and you'd be like, it's God really that protects us at the end of the day. But for security reasons, they thought it's for us to bring her to a school that's close by home. So I was moved to another school. How many are those?
5.
4, 5. Oh my God. Okay, so I moved to that one as well. And my journey of music then started to move forward. Now, it was a Christian school, Hope Primary School. And in this school, it was just like a replacement, because at home, we are Christians, so we pray at home, we make music at home. At school, there was a school choir, but I was in day school. And I remember in this school, quite a number of things were different. Number one, there were exotic kids. I was used to being in a village school.
What is an exotic kid? I'm so curious now.
Exotic, they come from wealthy families.
Okay.
The only reason you're in this particular school is because you are a compassion kid.
Wow.
And because you've been very far from home, we are deciding to bring you closer. But then I started to feel uneasy. You know, when poverty has been a part of your life, somehow certain things start to make you uncomfortable.
Yes.
So even when you're in the presence of wealthy people, you start feeling small, like you do not deserve to be here.
Yes.
You know, something like that. And that happens to majority of us growing up, especially if you've grown up in a community where, you know, you're not well off. I grew up I would call it a ghetto, because we had very small rooms. I think two bedroom, no, not even 2 bedroom. I feel like it was just 1 bedroom. 1 bedroom, you have just a curtain separating, and then you have a living room. Oh yeah. And so the people who are looking at me right now, they're like,
Are you
we
sure?
were here thinking you grew up in the US or
Look like it.
someplace.
Wow.
Yeah, but you see, in these communities, that's where we are made. And that's why I can never forget where I'm coming from, because it's what made who I am. Yes, when someone sees me today, they think it's impossible. I remember still in this primary 4, there are times we would be chased for tuition. In fact, I got to a point where I was so used. The bursar used to come to the class to chase fees defaulters. Before they even read my name, I stand up, pack my books, because I was like, for sure, my name is there.
Wow.
So I remember we used to move with my mom to go and dig. So we would find a person that has like a big garden and would spend a day cultivating, clearing it, and just to make money. Make money, make some for tuition, then get some food for us. So when I look back, I know even to this day, there are people who tell me, you don't know how to hold a hoe. I'm like, my friend, we used to spend hours in the garden. And, you know, she would cut, like she would divide portions for us.
Wow.
Say, you're going to dig from here to there. But we all knew the importance. We all knew what we were there for. So none of us was saying, we are being mistreated, or no, which is so different today.
Wow.
That kids, you tell them, go to the garden or take them to the village. They don't want that. All they want is a comfortable life. But I do feel that I am grateful to God that I actually went through that kind of life, because honestly, where would I be? Like, where would my life be? When I look at my life right now, I'm grateful that I went through such a life. Did I even mention the first time I wore real nice shoes was in like P3? That is, I was about what? And meanwhile, they didn't fit. The term had ended, and there was a teacher, one of our Sunday school teachers. Oh, God bless him. He noticed I was coming barefooted for a long time, and he was like, I'm going to get for her shoes. And now the challenge is he did not know my shoe size.
Wow.
So he got me shoes. And when he got me shoes, I was over the moon. My God, I was wearing shoes for the first time in a very long time. And you know what? I get home to put on shoes. I even got my mom to buy socks. They were white, in fact. I can't forget. And then the term was ending, because when the term is ending and you're going back to pick reports, they give, like, you go to school and start dancing and start like playing games until they call you to your different classes to, you know, read out the best students, the ones that have gotten scholarships, and, you know, the rest of you receive your reports. Now, I remember when he gave me the shoes, it was on Wednesday. I could not wait to go to school and show my friends that I had shoes. Now, the problem is the shoes did not fit. They were so big. So, oh my God, I got papers and put them there, like filled the space with papers so that I could, so at least someone would see me wearing shoes.
Oh, wow.
So I remember going with my shoes. Everyone was looking at them. But remember, I know what my problem is, because if they don't fit you, even when you put papers, you struggle to walk. But I said, nope, I am going to put on shoes. People need to see that I have shoes.
Wow.
So I took them and then realized, wait a minute, this is too much discomfort. By the end of the day, I was holding my shoes and the socks going back home. And here I am thinking, when I look at what I have, I'm like, but God, you take us from so far. But it's so good to look back and then reflect and say, Lord, you took me from this. Thank you. Yes. That today I can choose what to put on without a hassle. Like it's amazing the things that God takes us from. Wow. Yet sometimes we forget this is where we came from, but I'm grateful. And that's why I'm telling you this story. Just that you will look at your life and look at the things that you can change. About, like, the things that you can change. Number one is being grateful for where you're coming from, where God has taken you from. Because honestly, that's what makes who we are. We have become big men, lawyers, musicians, doctors. But when we look back at where we are coming from, that's the point you realize, even the things that I'm looking at before me, the future that I desire, it's going to be better. My life is going to be way better. But let me just pause and say, Lord, thank you for keeping me. Thank you for supplying my needs. Thank you that I can still say that, you know, I have life. I remember a number of kids that passed on during that season. Wow. Some from sicknesses that couldn't be treated, some malaria, some fever, like diseases that you look at today and you're like, wait, that can be treated. Simply go get some tabs, you know, you'll be okay. Anyway, wow. I'm super grateful that God took me from that point to this point. Now, next story, I take you to how I started in the music industry, because you're wondering, they told you she's a musician.
Yes, how did you get there? But actually, before you do that, Price Love, we put together a little surprise for our audience and also for you. We wanted to share this. And guys, this is, we didn't tell Price Love we're going to play this, but, you know, we stumbled upon this on YouTube and we loved it so much. Well, I loved it personally. And I said, you know what, I want to play this to show, like, now she's about to tell you how she got here. Okay. but I want you to get a little taste of what she's doing now, just a little taste. So this is also a surprise for you. So, and I think this was actually done this year. So bear with us. We'll be right back, okay? All right, here we go.
Hello, my name is Price Love, and he's Jethro on the keys. So I've been thinking about where I started from, especially when it comes to music. I grew up in church, so everything started in church. And I remember back in the days, the kind of music we are going to worship through is the music that I started learning with. And I remember we didn't have internet, so the music director at the time would put like CDs and play Hillsong, majorly Hillsong and the Matt Redmans of the time, and then we would write down the lyrics as we listened. So I learned a lot from writing. I learned to write to start with, and then pronunciation of words, because some words, those people had accents. So we're taking you down memory lane for the next couple of videos. For the people that are watching new music, sometimes we forget where we came from, but what made us is the kind of music that we are going to share in this session of worship. So you are invited to worship with us, and if you do not know the lyrics, now is about that time you go to Google. Google is your friend. Get the lyrics and sing along. These are beautiful songs, declarations that we grew up singing. And so, yeah, you're welcome to worship with us. Holy, holy are you, Lord.
Oh my God.
We thought we would just, give you a little, for the audience, just a little bit, because she talks a little bit about where she came from and all that. So, I just wanted to, and also for you, Prize Love, that, we are major fangirling on you right now. So.
Thank you. That was a really big surprise. I didn't expect that.
We are so glad. Yes, yes, yes. So now you can go back into your stories.
All right. So I started singing at 5 years old. Like I mentioned, I grew up in a Christian home, so we were doing music at home. We were worshiping through hymns. We had little booklets where we would read. Actually, I learned a lot from there. I mentioned in that video that just played that I learned a lot from listening to people singing. And some of my highlights were Darling Check at the time. But anyway, let me not go so far yet. At 5 years old, I held the microphone for the very first time. Now, if you know what holding a microphone for the very first time, when you are a 5-year-old means, my friend, you'd be celebrating with me. One, Sunday school wasn't allowed in the main church. So we would just once a month show up and do like a special, and then you would go back. I remember vividly even what I was putting on. I think they had chosen a kid to lead the song. I even remember the song was from John 3:16. My God, and the kid froze. But like I said, I was very inquisitive, but then I also was a passionate learner. Like if anyone failed to do something, I will learn it and I will do it. So this kid failed and the microphone was just passed on. Meanwhile, microphones had just come in. Like there were new things. All we knew is you hold the thing and your sound is louder. So I remember very well that I held that microphone. It's like a memory that's so close to me.
Wow.
I sang and everyone was amazed that a 5-year-old is singing on key. Meanwhile, I'm still barefooted. I was putting on a brown dress. It was actually a school uniform from primary 1. From that very first school that I told you about. It had a square patch on the side. It was brown. Now, I used to compete with my pastor, my late pastor back in the day. He used to lead a church called Gosma Healing Center. It's still there in Masaka. And we used to compete in terms of time. I always wanted to be earlier than him. So we would compete. He's either a few minutes earlier than me or I am earlier than him. We grew up being told by my mom that our life is God. We have no life without him. If we are to live life, let it be lived in Christ. If anything is to happen, God is our source. He's our supplier. He's everything that we need. So even in my moving early, even in my doing music, my focus was, I need to please God. In all that I was doing, my desire was, if anything else fails, I need to please God.
Wow.
So at that 5-year-old, that day, I have it in my, I even remember that the building doesn't exist anymore, but I still have that picture in my head of how that started. And so when I go to school, I try to engage in music. Primary 4 is actually when I started leading praise and worship, and I think I was about 10 years old at that time. And how it began, like I said, I'm inquisitive and then a passionate learner. I remember we had moved into this new environment and they were learning new songs, English songs. Now, we had been told for a long time, coming from a poor background always teaches you to either step up or stay poor. So we were told education is the key. You're going to study and make sure you're good at what you're doing. Otherwise, there is no future for you.
Wow.
So I purposed that I'm not going to fail. I'm going to do my best in school and in all that I do so that I get opportunities. So in primary 4, when that opportunity came to learn, I remember the music director used to bring a cassette. I don't even know if
I remember those. You used to wind them up. Anyone remember that with the pen? Yes.
Like
You put it in a one.
side A, turn it side B. Oh my God. So I remember we would have those and he would play. So we had books and so we would listen and write. I learned a lot of articulation, a lot of English, because I was in a Uganda speaking environment, but learning English and being able to communicate with people, because we had a lot of missionaries around us at that time who spoke English, and you would never ever stay in the same place because you are supposed to be on the move. We were the interpreters. You would go to a place to do evangelism, they are speaking English, you speak Luganda. Interpret. So we started like that. Meanwhile, my goal is music. So as I learned, I loved the sound of Darlene Check. She used to lead majority of the songs, and she wrote majority of the songs that we were singing anyway at that time. And so I wanted to be like her, because she had an amazing voice. We didn't have anyone around us that was like that. But when I looked at her, I'm like, but I can become that or even better than that. So I remember learning every song the way she sang or led it. And then I started to think, how can I make it my own? Then personalizing. Meanwhile, I don't have teachers. I'm just watching and learning. And I think this is a challenge for so many of us, that we always want to wait for someone to come and teach us. We never want to challenge ourselves to learn things before anyone shows up. So it's an opportunity. When you see something that you can learn, please go ahead and learn it, because sometimes the teacher is not going to show up. I mean, I joined music school when I was what, 20 years old, 23 years old. And so I'm thinking, if I had waited for all that time to join school or for that opportunity to show up, would you even be listening to me right now?
No.
I don't think so.
Wow.
So I would say this: you see the opportunity, irrespective of how young you are. We tend to, despise ourselves because, you're young, they should be bringing these things for you. The internet is an open space. It's a school in itself.
Yes.
You can learn anything. So use it. For us, we didn't have it. So we would sit on radio. Meanwhile, did I mention that there are times we would request for the songs because sometimes electricity was very expensive, or you had to buy batteries. You know those batteries? I don't know if you guys.
I don't know. It looks like our audience, they're what they call, daddy's girls and boys, because they're not they're not responding. They're not even telling us their experiences. These people over here being what they call in Ghana, dada bees, like rich people's kids. But I remember those batteries, big ones.
So yes, the big ones. So you would play a couple of times and they'll be done. So sometimes you'd hit them and put them in the sun, so you can put them back.
And, putting it in the sun. Oh my God! I forgot we used to do that.
And so it would be expensive. So sometimes what we would do is get to a neighbor's radio. There are people who had started getting phones, and so we could request for songs. Then you would sit down and write, because you don't want the song to pass by before the announcement starts or another song plays. So we'll do that as well.
Oh my God.
And so I started to learn, being a diligent learner then. I got the opportunity to have a music director that was so passionate about excellence. He's still there. His name is Pastor Noah Maega.
Oh, wow.
And he was such a, he went for seminary school in the UK and came back with CDs this time. So when he came back with CDs, now he would play, and now electricity had started becoming stable. Remember back in that day, you would have load shedding and not even care, because then you would always sit in the under the moonlight and hear stories or make music. But when electricity started to come, we moved far away from. I wish we went back to that. We would go under the moonlight, sit and listen to stories.
Yes, like this,
stories
but more.
Really, I know. The things that made us were those sessions. We learned behavior. We learned trust. We learned so many things under the moonlight with no electricity. It was even expensive anyway. But thank God for this generation. We have no excuse. If anything, we do not have any excuse.
Wow.
So anyway, when the opportunity opened up for me to lead worship, I first despised myself because, you're 10 years old. What are you going to tell adults? But I was passionate about God. I had understood God from a very young age. And so I knew He was my source. I knew that I was doing this for Him. It wasn't even about anyone else. It was just for His glory and no one else. So when they gave me the opportunity, irrespective of how good I was, and there were older people older than me. I said I'm going to do it and God will be glorified. And trust me, you, God was glorified. For all those years, I had so many incredible opportunities to sing in different places, at church, leading adults. So in primary 7, I finish and then go to secondary school. Now, I wanted to go to a school that allowed me to sing, but my dad wanted me to go to a school to study. I went to my dream school, which was Eagle's Nest Senior Secondary School. It's in Mengo here in Kampala. And when I went to that school, my dad gave me a stern warning and said, "My daughter, you're going to school to study, not to do music." What did I say? Going to school to study,
Not to
no
do
music.
music.
So I had to honor my dad by not doing any music. So I go to the school, pretend I know nothing. Oh yeah, pretend, painfully pretend, I should add painfully, because I love music and I loved music at the time. And then the school I was in had a church, it had scripture union, it had a choir. Like, man, how do you be in this environment and not do
sing.
something? So I held it in painfully. And so I used not to go to scripture union because then I'll be tempted to go and sing.
Wow.
I used not to go to choir practice because then I was like, I will love it so much and not respect my dad's instructions. So I decided I'm not going to join any of these things. So I pretended for, I guess, half a term, because, like, if you've been in an environment where people know you, they will tell on you.
Yes. Wow. Oh, this is getting so good. I hope we're getting her back. Oh no.
Yeah. The person that was in charge of the Luganda service to start with, because that's the place where you needed to be first before you move to the higher levels, I'll call that. And so I remember when they told on me, all they came to tell me was, "Price, hi." They introduced themselves. They actually passed on a couple of years ago and said, "Hi, my name is so and so, and you're leading praise and worship this Sunday."
Just like that.
It's like, what? Just like that. In the Luganda service, I said, "Sorry, I don't know how to sing." Wow. I told some stories there. But deep inside of me, I was burning with the excitement. I tried to make excuses because, remember, when you are a young child and you've been given an instruction, you always want to obey. Yeah. And so I decided, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to lead. And that was the first time in senior 1. Must have been around 14 years. And so I led in the Luganda service. From that time, I started to lead like constantly. And then in senior 3, I joined the
big ones,
the big shots.
I love it.
Started to lead there. And then senior, like all through, because I went to one school. Oh, thank God, I went to one school during the high school years. Only one. Oh my God, it was such a joy that no one was chasing me for tuition. Like, oh yeah, so amazing how God changes your story. Anyway, so how do I know that I can do music? I discovered that I can do music at a very young age, but because music wasn't a choice in terms of professions, it wasn't prestigious at all.
No.
And so my parents decided, nope, music, you are going to be a doctor.
Wow.
I think one of my siblings was supposed to be a lawyer, the other was supposed to be something. I don't remember, because all of us now followed our dreams finally. But I remember music wasn't an option for me. So I would do well in senior 4. Then we had to choose subjects to do for HSC. So I had to choose. I think I began with BCG math, which is biology, chemistry, geography, and mathematics.
Oh my God.
And
Wow.
then I think I must have attended about 2 weeks or a month, and it was so boring and so stressing and so disturbing that I realized, wait a minute, why am I struggling?
Wow.
So I decided to do arts. I was passionate about books. I was passionate about people who spoke, so I was a poet at the time. And so I chose literature. I
You
chose
did the
poetry.
Shakespeare's and all that. Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So I switched to the arts, but I didn't tell my dad. Now, if you know what that means, I was basically playing with fire,
Yes.
but there was nothing I could do about it. I wanted to do what made me happy. And so I went ahead and did this course, senior 5. And I was so good at it, by the way. Senior 5, senior 6 finished, and then we usually have what we call job forms that we fill for application to different universities. And so I saw music. I said, okay, I can do music. So I remember applying using Makerere University as one of my options because I wanted to do music. I don't remember the others. All I remember, Makerere was my number 1 choice because I wanted to do music. The others, I was good with children and people, so I thought maybe social work and social administration. And so, my dear friend, I ended up waiting for the results. So the results returned, and Makerere had given me a course I had never heard of. I even forgot the name. And so I started to wonder, what am I going to do with my life? And at that point, there was no more tuition. So I thought, well, whenever God gives me the opportunity to study, I will study. For now, I'll sit and wait. And so I started to volunteer at Youth for Christ. It was a crisis pregnancy center, but then they had a keyboard. So I was very curious. So I would ask people who are playing the instrument and ask, can teach me something. So I had learned in high school. I got a teacher she was a missionary. She taught me a couple of things. I have skipped quite a number of things because I want to take you to where the gist is. Anyway, so she taught me a couple of things in high school. So when I came to my holiday, I started to practice those few things, reminded myself. But then I really didn't know where my life was headed because there's no tuition, no money. So I volunteered for a year. And then finally, towards the end of that year, I get someone who was like, Price, why aren't you in school? Like, man, tuition. Like, what do you want to do? I want to study music. Okay. Which school? I already knew what I wanted. Like the places I wanted. If it was music, this is the place. If it was social work and social administration, like there were places. But I was just at that place of, you know how the Bible says, write your vision and make it plain. So I already had that. So I had written my vision of what I wanted, visited the school that I wanted. They gave me everything, told me the tuition, took them back. Tuition for my very first semester was paid. And you know what? I was overjoyed. And I remember telling my dad that I have gotten an opportunity to study music, and my dad was very unhappy about it because music was never an option. In fact, I will not go there because, man, that conversation was also a different one, telling my dad, I did not do sciences after like 2 years.
Oh, God. Wow. Wow.
Anyway, so I do music at Africa Institute of Music, and this is the first time that I see this instrument.
Wow. Which
adungu.
you're going to play for us, by the way, right, guys? If you want
Which
her
I'm
to
going to
play it,
play,
can you
yes,
put it
yes.
in the chat? Say, Price Love, please play the adungu for us. Please. I want to see it in the chat. Let's go. Let's go. If we have 3 yeses, she's gonna play it right now. But yeah, keep going. We're gonna get some yeses soon.
Yes. So this is the first time I see the instrument, and I love the sound. We had options. We were supposed to learn a Western instrument as well as an African instrument.
Right.
And then I was like, I have options. We had xylophones, we had tube fiddle, we had the harp, the African, or rather the bow harp, and then we had drums. And for me, when I looked at the instrument, it's like it was calling out to me, come to me. And so I remember getting it immediately. I even didn't get the one for my level because, you start with the very small ones to figure out how it functions. I got the advanced one because for me, I was like, you know what, I'm going to play it. I don't know how I'll do it. And so I picked up that instrument and started to practice. In my room, I used to stay in an estate in Zambia. I had one room. I would sit in that room and play all kinds of things. I didn't really understand them, but they were sounding good to my ears. So I said, you know what? I'll just play this. So I played the instrument, learned, and went for recitals because we'll do recitals at school. And in these recitals, you'd display what you've been learning, what you've been practicing. And so that was my cue. Started to practice and play, practice and play. I cannot even forget that. Like, I was so impressive to some people, and yet I had just picked up the instrument. But I then remembered, I'm always curious. I am a learner and a passionate one, so I'm going to do something with this instrument. So traditionally speaking here, this instrument is played by traditional folk groups who play it and then sing to it and dance. And then I thought, well, what would happen if I got this instrument and played a Western song with the local instrument? Said, let me try it. And so this is the first song ever that I learned.
Guys, she's gonna do it. Oh my God. Okay, we're ready for this. Yes, go ahead.
All right. You say that I wasn't pretty, for I just believed you. You say that I wasn't special, so I lived that way with critical gazes and brutal amazement at how my reflections could be so imperfect. With all of my blemishes, how could somebody want me? But God loves ugly. He doesn't see the way I see. Oh, God takes ugly and turns it into something that is beautiful. Apparently I'm beautiful 'cause he loves me. Oh, oh,
Oh my God. I want to cry. I don't even know the song. I feel what? Wow. Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. Look, everyone is just like, there's so much love in here. It's ridiculous. Oh my
So that was
God.
the very first song
Wow.
that I played on Adungu. And I fell in love with the song because of the lyrics. And then I realized the lyrics used to speak to me a lot deeper than anything else. I didn't care about anything else, but I thought, well, why not then write music that heals? Why not then play music for people and just heal them? It doesn't have to be so loud. It doesn't have to be filled with so many instruments. And that song was by Jordan Sparks. I think she had just won American
Now I
Idol, and it
remember.
was part of the
Yes.
album. Yes, it was
Wow.
part of the album. And so I started to write music for my first album then, and that first album is Tales. And I even had my first concert in 2013. That's a story for another day.
Oh my God.
And so in 2019, that's when I released 2019, 2020. That's when I released the second album, which is The Priceless Gift. But during the lockdown, this is actually when I start to use the instrument actively. So I was really frustrated with music and how I didn't feel like I was shifting or moving to where I wanted to go. And so I decided to quit music and find something else that I could do. Oh, yeah. And so I think the song Nara comes in. I had even refused to listen.
You are
know
going
that
to do
I
that
have a
song,
bad
by the way,
habit.
right? You are going to play that for us, right, guys? Right? We want to
I'm
hear
not
it.
sure.
Oh, please, come on, just a little bit, right? Okay, we're going to take a poll. We'll take a poll. Guys, if you want her to play Nara, I want to see 3 yeses, just 3. And I'm going to give you a little time. In 2 minutes, if I get 3 yeses, I think she's going to play Nara for us. How about that? All right. It starts now. Let's see. Okay, here's 1 yes. 1 yes.
Yes.
Okay, 2 yes. Uh-oh, there is a 3 and there is a 4. Girl, you in trouble, okay? You're gonna have to do Naira for us. I'm sorry. Oh, there is a 5 and a 6. Oh, and a 7. Yeah, no, you're doing that.
Wow. Okay.
Well, so, thank you very much. Go ahead. Yes.
So I was really at the verge of quitting music and looking for something else because I felt like I wasn't shifting. From my very first concert, a lot happened that really made me so depressed that I decided, that I share in my book, Dare to Dream, a young musician's guide to starting.
Just before you do that, I know Marge, you're watching. Marge is an incredible publisher herself. She's an author of many, many books. Marge, I need to call you, and I'm saying it live online so you know. We need to figure out a way to get Price Love's book on Amazon, and I know you're a genius at that. So I'm putting it out there that I'm calling you, and we're doing this with our sister because I know her story needs to be far and wide, and this is what we do. This is an African story, and we want it out. Big brother Nana Redamwa of Book Nook, I'm calling you too. Of course, producer Elsie's here. She's tightly interwoven with Book Nook, and we have to find a way to get you on there too. So I just thought I will put it on there live. This is how we do it on To My Younger Self. We do not do anything behind the scenes like that. So we're plugged in, yes. So she does have that on Dare to Dream. You can pick up the story. Yes.
Yes. So I share a bit of that story in the book. And so I was so depressed about it. So I decided, you know what? I should quit and find something else to do with my life. I mean, I had started music, so why not do something else? Meanwhile, I think about even to quit when I was done with music. I had a degree in music. I was just tired. And so I remember the song comes on, and usually I'm not a very quick person to attack songs or listen to them. I wait for the others to first, listen, make noise about it. Then I go, what was the fuss about this song? So the song had been around for a while. But then on that day, it's actually my husband who sent it to me. And so I was like, oh, it's a nice song. It's one of those days in my dark room. I sit, pick the instrument up, play it, and I loved the song. And so I called up a friend of mine, and he had equipment. So I told him, I want to record. I don't know where this is headed, but I want to record this song. Can you help me? He's like, yeah, come. So I went to his home. And I remember the first time we recorded, I didn't like what it sounded like. So I said, scratch that. I'll go back, practice and pray and, see what it turns out. And then I liked what I had practiced and how it turned out. So I decided then to go and record it. So we recorded it. I even remember chasing people out of studio, told them, go out, I'm uncomfortable on camera. I want to just be like, I just wanted to be as if it's just me alone in the studio. And so they go out, I record, and he edits, sends me the song. Now, this was for me the last thing. I was like, okay, Lord, if everything else has failed, at least I have said thank you, right? Okay. So it was a Saturday when I received the song on my phone. I uploaded it to my Facebook page, Price Love, and the response was wild. And then I got mad. I was like, God, what is this? I've been waiting for a long time to, change this. No, what are you doing?
Oh
The
my
song
God.
started to move to places I never expected, to places that I felt, oh my God, when did this reach there? Before I know it, people are asking me to record more adungu covers, and I was just mad. I was like, good, I waited, I asked, and why now?
Wow.
And so I remember taking about 4 months to record another one. Then I uploaded it. Someone asked me to upload it on my YouTube channel. I uploaded it on my YouTube channel and somehow started to get the drive and the push
You need it,
to,
yes.
because the pressure was coming from the people. But then I realized if I do not utilize this opportunity, it's going to pass me by so fast, and then I will never see it happen again. So I decided to obey, and my obedience gave birth to what I am doing now. I have accumulated a following that even I myself look at and
You
wonder.
kind of like, how did that happen? And we're the same. We're like some of those followings because my producer has it in here. You'll be shocked. She says the first week that you had that song out, and I believe that's how come she sent it to me also. She played it so many times, it was ridiculous. That first week.
Me too. Me too. And yet I don't usually like listening to myself. But
Wow.
really it was coming from a place of I am grateful and I am done.
Wow.
And God had a different plan.
And God was like, girl, we are ready for you to play Nara for us. I know you were not ready for this one. We definitely blindsided you. And for those of you who haven't heard it, I implore you, just go on YouTube. Do me this big favor. Go on YouTube and look up Price Love. I'm begging of you, and just type in Nara, and you will be incredibly amazed at how this woman just, if you've never felt God, this is it. I promise you, this is it. All right, you're going to take us away.
All right. You've done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. 10,000 times, it still won't be enough. Narekelemo. Chukuna Guamariele. When you heal completely. Narekelemo. Chukumaro bimo. Isi kendule. Narekelemo. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. Nara, nara, yeah. Narekele, narekele mo. Nara, nara, yeah. Narekele, narekele mo.
Oh my God. Wow. I went to heaven and I got back. But if you just joined us, you're welcome. Thank you so much. Actually, can I redefine my words? I did say go on YouTube, but I don't want you to do that. What I want you to do for us is go to iTunes or any platform where you have to pay just a little bit, okay? For those of us in this part of the world, it's probably like 99 cents or $1.29. I know times are hard, I do. But listen, go find Price Love's albums. Go find her single. Pay it forward with 99 cents or $1.99. However you get your music. Just don't do it on YouTube. Unless if you play on YouTube, she gets adverts on it and gets paid. We're trying to get her paid, okay? And yes, Price Love never said for me to do this, but when there is a gift like this, you know, Africans, one of the things that we're trying to do is not only to put positive stories out there, but to appreciate the gifts that God put on the African continent. She definitely is one of them. And the way to appreciate that is to support her and put money in her. So for those of you who know producers, who are connected to producers all over the world, I implore you, if you're an African producer, especially a gospel one, those of you that are producing the Sinachas and all of them out there, if you happen to find this video, here's a gem. And we want her out there. We want her big, okay? And that instrument puts Africa on the map. That's what we're trying to do, okay? And as she was telling the story, and I know we're 13 minutes out, but I did want to play this little video. This is a video that producer Elsie sent to me that captured my heart, that I have played over and over. I think between Elsie and I, we probably increased the video numbers. I don't even know by how much. And I'm going to play just a little bit of it. Another surprise that I never told Price that I was going to do, but I'm going to do it. And what a powerful name your parents gave you. You are Price and you are Love. I don't even know. Like, I used to think Zoe Baraka was pretty powerful, but I think you one-upped it. So that's incredible. Guys, watch this and let's get the numbers up. Okay.
You've done so much for me, I cannot tell it all. Narekelemo. If I had 10,000 tongues, it still won't be enough. Narekelemo. Chukuna kule narekelemo. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me. Nara, nara, he, narekele, narekele mo. Nara, nara, he, narekele, narekele mo. Wajabu, Yesu wajabu, wajabu, mfalme wajabu. Nikiona vitu ulivyoumba, vyaonyesha kuwa nguvu zako, fadhili ulizo nazo kwangu ni za ajabu. Oh, nara, nara, he, narekele, narekele mo. Oh, nara, nara, he, narekele, narekele.
Ah, I would not want it to end. Wow, guys, do you even see there was no difference? And I think for me, the most powerful thing is when you got to the end of yourself, when you said to God, I leave it, but you weren't bitter about it. You said, I would rather just give you thanks and just leave it. You have no idea what that has done for me. You don't even know how many times I've come to the end of myself. There's been days when it's a Tuesday morning and I'm saying to God, I don't want to do this show anymore. I really don't. Okay, this is the end. But we wake up and we say, thank you, Jesus, and we keep it moving. You don't know. Now, some power packing things that people have been saying here. By the way, everyone, we've been so engrossed with Price Love. I haven't said welcome to you. I see you all. Dennis J, Doris, Juliet, Auntie Doris. I see you, Ralia. I see you, William Emmanuel. We saw your message. We're getting back to you on that. Thank you so much. Doris, Quara, I know you're in the hospital. You're watching us from your hospital bed. What dedication. Thank you. And we hope you're doing well. We're definitely going to reach out and check on you. Siska, Auntie Aisha, I see you. Jan, listen, there's so many of you. If I didn't mention your name, it was an oversight. We're so grateful that you come here every week and you hear us. But Juliet, you had a comment here that I really wanted to highlight. She says, Elsie, after the week I have had, it was very personal. I felt the tears too. #exhale. We're hugging you all the way from New York and of course from Uganda with this song. It will get better, I promise you, no matter how dark it gets. One of my friends who is launching her book, which we're very grateful to be able to launch for her on this platform in 2 weeks. As I was reading the book and some of the things she told me actually over the phone was this: as long as you are alive and you can even say that it is dark, means there is hope. What power behind those words. Headline Anunson, I see you and I thank you. And we cannot wait to host you in 2 weeks. Guys, I don't want Price Love to go, but she has to go because listen, God is opening doors and she has to go and walk through those doors. Okay, all these incredible things that are happening. We're so excited for you. We cannot wait to see you on the big platform. And hey, maybe one day, no, let me redefine that. Not maybe, very, very soon, Price Love will have a concert right here in New York. And guess what? We're all going to be there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We are speaking it and incredible things have happened for a lot of our artists who have come through on To My Younger Self. We say it's the prayers of producers like Elsie and Sedinam and Emmanuel, our executive producer. They're not only putting time and investment, and Uncle Yidana, these guys are also praying. And so artists come here and suddenly they're shooting up. Price Love, we ask God that the unction that is in this show will shoot you and catapult you even higher than you've ever imagined. We're looking forward to seeing you on bigger stages. And we want to be right there, being the ones clapping and cheering you on. Thank you for honoring us with your presence, your voice, your gift. I don't even know what else to say. So I'm going to try to unhook. I really am. I love this woman. I really do. Next week, we're going to have, do you guys remember this, especially for those who lived in Ghana back in the 80s? There's a song that I'm going to sing a little bit. I don't have a good voice like Price, but let me try. No place like Africa. No place like Africa. I don't know. Do you remember that? It was for a show called Sincerely Yours. And do you remember who was the host of that show? Yes. He's someone I call Uncle also, but has been a longtime mentor, has been a big supporter of the films that I did back in film school. Uncle Fritz Bafor is going to be here with us next week. Guys, do not miss it. I promise you, you would not be happy with yourself if you missed it. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have a book launch right here on To My Younger Self. The book is titled Thank You, Lord. He Inhabits My Praise by Adeline Aharaba Enunsin. Another incredible, powerful story. You are not ready for it, I promise you. So please, please, please keep us in mind and pray with us. And that is all the housekeeping for me. Price, we always give our guest the last say. So what is it? I mean, you've told us so many things. Today, I'm going with my last minute gratitude. The other thing I'm going with is no matter how many no's you get, keep pushing. There's going to be a yes somewhere. So those are the two things I am definitely I'm walking away with. But what do you want everyone else to walk away with today?
Well, there's a lot, but I guess the thing that's close to my heart is without faith, it's impossible to please God. He gave you a gift. He's able to supply. He's able to watch over it, to see it come to fruition. So have faith. Like your life depends on it. Actually, your life depends on your faith. Have faith that whatever God has started in your life, He shall bring to accomplishment.
And just like that, guys, we are coming to the end of another incredible show with your support. Price Love, God bless you. Of course, I'll be in touch with you because there's so much to do behind the scenes with all of the things we talked about. We really appreciate you. And we'll see you on the big stage. We're signing off now, guys. We'll see you next week with Uncle Fritz Bafor. From myself here and everybody here at To My Younger Self Studios. And of course, Price Love in Uganda, Kampala. Oh my God, I cannot wait to visit. We say have a wonderful time. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Moko school, my bye.